Thanks, everybody. All right. Well, thanks for staying. Emily Browning just went to the bathroom. She said, "Why are people leaving? Don't they know that there's a Q&A?" We'll bring up some people. Our composer, Keegan DeWitt, actually composed the music for every movie at Sundance this year.
Yeah, you're really everywhere.
I love this guy. It's our third movie together, and I love his music in this movie. Let's get Keegan up here, everybody. He's running like a contestant on The Price is Right. And this movie was edited by someone who is a filmmaker and does a lot of his own movies and has a lot of spotlight and glory. He made the second most successful Christine Chubbuck movie from Sundance last year. So I want to bring up Robert Greene, but don't ask him anything because he does enough of that on his own. But he deserves to be up here, but he doesn't deserve to say anything. I just know that if you don't get into the spotlight every 48 hours, you shrivel and die. And then we have all these actors here, like Adam Horovitz and Chloë Sevigny and Annalie Tipton, and Emily Browning. Maybe it's back in the back. So let's see those great actors up here. Or if Emily's still washing her hands, then we'll just get her in a minute. Not to out her for using the bathroom or anything. She did skip the beginning of this Q&A, so thanks everybody. Are you starting, Emily?
I can start if no one here wants to start.
I don't think anyone
People
does.
feel a little shy. I'll break the ice here. So Alex, a number of these people you have worked with before in your films, and I was wondering if they're, now like a couple films in, there starts to be a certain fluidity that you find, a language that you already have developed that makes the film making process go a little bit smoother.
Yeah, maybe. I just realized we're missing Annalie. Yep. Also, where is everybody? Yeah, I mean, it's just the benefit of making like 3 movies in just over 3 years with kind of top to bottom the same department heads. It's just trust left and right, and it's just trust to do different things, and it's puts faith in myself to do different things if I know that I can count on everyone else to sort of just do something that excites me. Mm-hmm. So just like for Keegan, for example, I was like, you'll see the script and you'll see it, but like the music in this movie has to do the talking that the characters don't do. That's it. Like just whatever you make of that, I'll be happy. Yeah. And then he just went there, like whatever you heard. Yeah, that was all I gave him. And this is exciting. And Robert does whatever he does, but truly, honestly, it is just like a relationship of trust where it's like Robert basically, the edit of this movie that you just watched is like another draft of the script that Robert helped make or made himself while I laid on the couch behind him. And just having the faith in someone to be like, I'm going to sit here while you reshuffle this entire deck of scenes, and then we'll just see if this cut is different enough that we find something in it, is great. And it's just like, it's how I can keep working. And like same with cinematographer who shot all 5 of my movies. And if the person's here who saw this and fill up and said in a review, someone get this guy a tripod, this one's for you. Oh, there they are. We're listening to your questions. Hey everybody, look at those actresses. What a good job they did. And please, let this be the last time, and I am just waiting for both of you to show up because it's a miracle we got this movie made at all. This guy's asking me about the scene where Adam's in your character's apartment and how well edited it is, or something.
You guys talk about sort of the decision to leave some scenes in the conversation or sort of in the act rather than the conventional getting out at the end.
Yeah. The question was about, for example, the scene where Emily's character goes to Adam's character's house, how that just kind of ends, or he goes to her house, how it just kind of ends without resolution in the first scene where she shows up, and then it just fades immediately, which this gentleman seems to be complimentary about, which is just great already. I mean, I hate to do this, but I have to give the microphone to Robert. I apologize in advance. This is just going to take up the rest of the time we have.
Hey guys, I mean, a lot of that was already in the script. I mean, there was a lot of ellipses in the script built into the way the story was told. That note specifically came. That was a late decision. It was because it was actually to try to fix other issues that were like, there was like things were too resolved. There actually is a version where Emily just shuts the door and says, "You get out of here," which I kind of was partial to that, actually, but in the end, we thought that leaving that hanging there would benefit in all these other kinds of ways, which it did. But a lot of those, I mean, the ellipses were built into the original idea of the film. Which enabled us, by making those decisions later, we could go further with them if we needed to, or if we felt like that was an opportunity to do something different. Was that too long? I'm sorry.
It was fine. It's just a great note that came from someone, which was like, let's look at this scene this way. And that scene's at the halfway point in the movie, and if it's another way, then their dynamic is over, and the movie has another 45 minutes to go, and this kind of just gave us the opportunity to have the rest of the scenes with them and with Chloë become very different, and just taking opportunities like that is something that this movie could support, so I wanted to take them, because not every movie can just fade out in the middle of a scene, and it makes perfect sense. You want to say something? Question was, this is real nuts and bolts stuff, people. Question is there a split diopter shot in a scene in The Office? And the answer, my friend, is yes. You must watch a lot of De Palma movies to figure that out. I'll just give them the microphone. No, I will. Oh, you don't have a microphone. It's just, it's just the movie. I don't know. It's just, what do you mean that's not your experience?
I brought that up actually, because there's a scene when I have a session with a young, handsome guy, and I was like, how about I objectify him to a certain degree, just like level the playing field a little bit, let her have some sort of thing that she's grappling with, but Alex, you wasn't into it.
Yeah, well, that scene's also not in the movie anymore, so it wouldn't make any sense. But, yeah, it's like,
It feels like very much like a male perspective where there's like this like young ingenue who the guys are like lusting after.
yeah, well, it's certainly, believe it or not the first movie to do that. Nor would it be the last. But I was just so into like thinking about this as like this springtime movie, and I was thinking of these like 80s and 90s Eric Romer movies, and I just revisited Claire's Knee, and then that's just what those movies are about, and that's always really spoken to me as a guy who is very sensitive and has too many feelings to know how to live life, truly. I'm joking, of course I have none, as you can tell from having watched this movie, but yeah, it's just, it's a tradition of movies that I really love and respect, and I thought that was kind of the anchor that this story about these 7 characters needed, to kind of give your characters time in New York, the thing where it sparks with Jason and Adam and then trickles down. That was an easier in for me to get to all the other characters.
Did you say it's a tradition in movies that you love, and like is the tradition you're talking about that it's the men who are unfaithful? Is that what you're saying? That's the tradition that you love?
I more just meant that I really like Claire's Knee. But, it's very sensitive, and watching these guys go through this was something that I just wanted to see, like, 2 men at 2 different points in their life deal with something that's kind of similar, and just kind of have you be like this pinball that bounces.
But I also think that, because I'm sensitive to that kind of stuff too, and I sort of feel like there was a different version of the script originally where Naomi had a boyfriend at home. Remember that?
Yes, that's right.
I think that she is just as much a kind of, she mentions it a few times, like, I don't want to get into this situation again, and she's fully aware that Jason's character is married, and she doesn't really care, because she's kind of awful. But I think that, yeah, I don't know, I think she's 100% that kind of person as well. It's just that she doesn't happen to be attached to anybody, I guess. I don't know. And also maybe, like, I don't know, maybe it's seen as, I don't know what I'm going to say. Because she kind of gets away with it, but she shouldn't, because she's sort of awful too. But it's sort of seen as like a horrible thing that men do, and she can weirdly kind of, it seems sort of like funny, and she's young, but it's sort of equally awful, I think. I don't know. No? What do you think?
Next question.
Yeah.
The question was about the fixation with women's hair in this movie. Let me correct you. The cinematographer has a fixation. I like hair. The cinematographer loves it, and we got really lucky with a lot of the hair in this movie. First thing he said on Chloe's first day, he said, "Oh my God," he said, "how am I going to shoot anything other than her hair?" He's like, "It's golden. How can I not just like want to shoot from the back of her head?" Well, I'll take credit if it's a good thing, and if it's a bad thing, it's not my fault. Everyone's moving to great hair.
Yep.
I was just wondering, I thought I spotted Francis Ford Coppola in the background in the bar.
Jason, is this true? That would be so.
Not true.
I love that you still bring your own mic to these. It's so charming.
Yeah.
The question was if the characters were built by the actors or defined for them. We'll just start down here with Owen.
No, honestly, for me, I think I kind of got to cheat as an actor. I came in after they had really already set the tone, kind of the last part of filming, and I got to follow that, and my character also is, actually I think I was surprised. I think we gave a few kinds of takes, and what I am impressed about is that you guys really chose some, you made me you gave me so many more levels than I anticipated with my character, who I thought would be even more reserved than I was concerned about. That didn't answer the question, but I think it's a combination, and I think a great filmmaker can sculpt what an actor gives them, and I think that's what you end up doing.
I was kind of lucky in the sense that I was speaking to Alex a lot while he was writing the script, so everything was kind of there for me when I read the script, but I had like a little bit of say, or Alex kind of pretended that he was taking my ideas on board, and then sort of, right? Kind of. You're gonna make fun of me. What do you say?
I was gonna say that I talked to you like once when the script was being written, and then again after you read the draft. And it just sort of was like, it was, you were,
Also, when I first met you, we talked about.
right, because at the time, whatever, so that's a different story about another movie I tried to make where I met a lot of these actors and I wanted to put them in something, so we did this. But, we just talked a little bit. You and Jason and then Chloe were really like the first ones involved, so there was some shaping, and Jason, it was written for, since I knew we could get to him pretty easily. And then, it was just kind of having like a few actors that I knew were going to be the characters, and then building it up with them, and then Jason and I talked, and we talked, and it just came out that way. But I'd like to hear.
Jason, take the
Chloe?
mic out of it.
Chloe?
No, I'm fine. Pass.
We're supposed to talk now?
If you only want to.
Oh, no, it's okay. What am I supposed to say? I got lost for a sec. Talking about characters still? We talking about that?
Did you build it, or was it just kind of there?
Oh, I don't know. I read my characters like a sad sack, and it seemed to work, and so I just kept going with that. I have my own glasses.
Tell them that you came up with the glasses.
Really? That's a thing?
Yeah, the glasses. That was your idea.
Oh, I said, can I use these glasses? My funny glasses. And that's it. That's the whole thing that I did. I had funny glasses.
Jason's character switches direction pretty surprisingly. And I was just wondering what you thought the motivation was, because I didn't see that coming. And I thought it was going a different way. Was it written that way? Or did you cut some part out? Or I'd just love to know more about that switch.
You talk first.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just slippery. Every relationship in the movie is meant to be very slippery, and you only see a fragment of what all these relationships are. That's not to say that there's scenes that take place between Jason and Emily that aren't in the movie, which I don't know if that's true, but it's just slippery in that he can sort of, there's 3 scenes in that bar. One where they meet for the first time, one where he kind of tries to put this other guy in his path, and then one where he says, I have to walk away. And that to me sort of is the dynamic, and then we see them at the eatery. And it's just messy. It's just messy. And I think getting too deep into where that change happens, like that would just be its own movie. It's just interesting for me that at some point in there, between walking her home when she kind of puts her head close to him, and then when he sees her again, he's just like, I have to walk away. I said yes to come, I regret it. She says to Adam, you can come in, then she regrets it. There's a lot of little things like that. I mean, that one happens on camera, the other ones don't necessarily. And, you know, a movie with this many characters, it's tricky to service each moment and each pair. And I really wanted to do justice by all of the actors because they were just, I thought, bringing such amazing work, and I was so impressed every day. And then in editing, it became like, let's just make sure that, like, not only does the Adam and Chloe moment land, but then when we're with her by herself, that's landing. And then when she's with Mary-Louise, that's landing too. And in order for that to land, we have to know this going in. And it's just slippery. And I think with 7 characters, you kind of just have to pick what matters. And I like that so many times in the movie where something is just referred to that you obviously didn't see, where she's like, Jason just shows up and he's like sudden lunch invitations. And it's like, we don't see it, but you can imagine it. And I just like the idea, it's like the elliptical question. There's like little things that you don't necessarily see. So then it's like, well, why are these the 90 minutes that we saw? Well, it wasn't by accident. Because we got another 30 that we could have shown you. And we picked these, because these were the 90 best ones. Jason, how about that scene? We talked about, do you know what we said about that scene? You were like, how do I play this? And I was like, let's watch that clip in Goodfellas when Paul Sorvino gives him the wad of money and says, I have to turn my back to you.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's it, that's just it, like, you're just done. And there's nothing you can say to change that, because you've made up your mind.
Yeah, that's a true thing. That is also just a crazy thing of technology these days. He could be, you know, it's a modern thing just to be on set and we're talking about it, and then he says, like, the Goodfellas scene, which I don't have, you know, recall in my brain, and 5 seconds later we're watching it on a phone, and it was pretty amazing. But yeah, I mean, that scene, I think at the end is an interesting scene also because when we were doing it, it wasn't very, it was purposely not clear to both of us whether or not that decision comes before he's even gone there or in the middle of the thing. And I think it was fun to try to play around with both. Like maybe if different things were said, perhaps it might have gone a different direction. But I don't really ever think, because I love Annalie too so much, so I feel bad even talking about it, to be honest. I'm not sure if they're both now.
All right, thanks everyone for